Hello, this is Jeremy Giles, and this is episode 56 of Who's on Top.
Who's on top?
And welcome back to Who's on Top. I'm your host, Ori, and boy, are we excited. It's the end of March, almost early spring, and boy, it is very, very, very nice out. It was 80 degrees today in Williamsburg and sunny, so no complaints here. And speaking from the wonderful East Brunswick, we got Ellis Gordon, the Russian machine.
What's good, guys? What's up?
Looking extra cute in his friend's t-shirt, we got Daniel Fox.
Well, that just put a smile on my face. And as always, Shana Tova.
Shana Tova to you, and happy Passover to all the Jews and all the non-Jews listening to our podcast. And finally, looking incredible in his Clark Kent glasses, we have the fencing captain, Jeremy Giles.
As always, at your service.
We also send a customary shout out to our Frisbro Jacob Kazin, who's recovering from the second vaccine. Congratulations on the microchip, Jakey. We miss you, and yeah, go base. In his honor, let's talk some sports, guys.
For legal purposes, there's no microchip in the COVID-19 vaccine. Probably no, not actually.
Probably.
There's no
And
microchip.
please get vaccinated. Please do it.
That too.
Yeah. All right, so let's move.
Microchips are fun.
All right, let's start off with all the news in the tip-off. Daniel, take it away.
Yep. Welcome to the tip-off. We'll start. It is opening week of baseball. It starts, well, when this comes out, you'll probably be watching some baseball games. But unfortunately, we have to talk about some sad news. If you remember in football season, we had obituaries so wonderfully put by Ori. But I'm not going to steal his thing. I'm just going to run through some injuries. Kirby Yates, the star of Ori's fantasy team, he got Tommy John surgery, the Blue Jays' big closer acquisition from the San Diego Padres. He had dealt with some injuries going into spring. He dealt with some last year, and now he went under the knife. George Springer, another Blue Jays acquisition. He was likely to start the season on the IL. He's been struggling this spring. So Blue Jays not looking so hot right now. And then Luke Voigt, the Yankees' first baseman, he is out to at least May with a partial tear in his meniscus. So that's a big bat missing out of the Yankees lineup. If you remember, he led the AL, I think the major leagues in home runs last year. But enough injury talk. Let's talk about some extensions. Francisco Lindor, obviously marquee free agent next year. He got acquired from the Mets. The Mets acquired him from the Indians this past offseason, so they've been working on an extension with the new look Mets and Steve Cohen. They offered him 12 years, $300 million. Seems like a pretty good deal, but Francisco Lindor wants $385. Lindor has said he will only negotiate until opening day, so we are running out of time. So it looks like Francisco Lindor might hit free agency. So that's baseball. Let's talk about some more boring sports. And speaking of boring, Ellis Gordon, take it away.
All right, clearly Dan doesn't know what sport I'm about to talk about. So, this is a sport that doesn't get a lot of love, even though I love it. But, we don't all watch it here. But I think this is worth mentioning since, heavyweights are supposed to be the baddest man on the planet. And let's move on to UFC, where unrelated, but I got to see Dustin Poirier this weekend, which was cool. But unrelated to the news, and Francis Ngannou, the 265-pound hardest-hitting man in the world out of Cameroon, won the heavyweight title. They clocked in his punches. Getting punched by Francis Ngannou at max speed or at max power is the same as being hit by a Ford F-150 truck. So this man's got power unbeknownst to anyone. But yeah, so he beat Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight greatest of all time, and he beat him second round TKO, a very impressive display, avenging his 2018 loss to Stipe. So he's now the heavyweight title. Will probably face John Jones next, which is
That
fun
is
to
a
see.
Brother
scary
of Chandler
man.
Jones.
And I gotta
Is he
say,
actually?
what?
Is
What'd you say?
Chandler Jones and
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Jones are related?
Yeah.
I know that John Jones is scary as fuck.
And John Jones has been lifting for the heavyweight bout, but Ngannou, again, John Jones can't punch like a Ford F-150 truck. Ngannou, they can. And this one last point to make on this tip-off is now there are 3 African UFC people with the title
Champions.
belt holders. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Belt holders and champions, which is never seen before, and just nice to see.
I mean, yeah. If you listen to Francis Ngannou, actually has a great interview with. You're gonna hate me for saying this, Joe Rogan.
No, I saw that interview. That was so interesting.
I mean, Ngannou,
he was born. Yeah, he was born.
Ellis.
He was born like pretty much a slave. He had to work on the sand mines.
I know he had to work in the sand mines when he was 10. I mean, the story is absolutely incredible, and the fact that he's made it this far is really, really impressive. And he's a pretty young stud, so just continue to grow, and I can't wait to see more of him in the future. On to you, Daniel.
So I think it's me again. Sorry to cut Daniel off, but we're moving on to some March Madness where I finally was able to watch. Thanks, Dan. Where I was finally able to watch the games after my Rutgers sadness came away. And now it's not that hard to watch the games. And I really did appreciate the first game I came back watching, which was UCLA and Alabama, which was a great game. But we have 8 teams left. Some upsets. UCLA is in the Elite Eight playing Michigan. That's going to be a good matchup, though.
Oh God, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little scared.
They UCLA,
they hit clutch shots, and damn, they look good.
But yeah, so we also got Gonzaga versus the Mobley brothers and USC.
Dude,
and we
crazy. They're just
Baylor
crazy.
and Arkansas going now. And Baylor is up by 9 with 17 minutes left. But Arkansas has come back every single tournament by double digits. Every single game by double digits, so don't discount them. And we got Oregon State, Houston. Houston won earlier in a very close game, but Houston was able to pull away a little at the end, and they are going to be in the Final Four. Yeah, Jacob Syracuse lost to Houston. Sad to see. Oregon got blown out. Other notable, honestly, it's just been a great tournament. Oral Roberts, the story ends for our Hall of Fame inductee Max Amos. I was pronouncing his name wrong all last podcast, which is embarrassing. But Max
he called you out on Twitter.
I know. Called me on Twitter, so I was a loser. But yeah, Max Amos. And yeah, it's just been a great tournament, and hopefully to more fun in the Elite Eight.
All right, I'll pick it up from here. It's been known for Manchester City as a Man City fan. Sergio Aguero, probably the greatest player to ever. Sergio Aguero, probably the greatest Manchester City player by a long shot. 257 goals and 384 appearances in the Premier Leagues with 4 different title trophies.
Debatably the best striker in the 2000s.
Debatably one of the best players in Premier League of all time. Nothing but respect for him, the small Argentinian man, not named Messi, who's really making a name for himself. He will not be returning to Manchester City in the summer. This is a great loss, but honestly, he's done all he can here. He's really left quite a legacy, and I'm just happy that he really got a historic return here. Yeah.
Do you want to do it? One last time. I'm a United fan. This is gonna hurt, but I do respect Sergio Aguero. Do you want to do it? 3, 2, 1.
Aguero! I know.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can move on.
Just for reference for our fans, every time Aguero scores a goal, or which he does 257 times in his career, the commentators generally go, Aguero!
He had the only walk-off goal in Premier League history.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're telling me one soccer player has scored 257 goals in his career? How long has he played? 50 years?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's damn impressive what he did, and just got to salute a man when he leaves. So, Sergio, thanks for everything, and it's been a ride.
Jeremy?
Salute to Sergio. Now let's salute to the NFL when we get to get some entertainment here, because we got some draft day trades for y'all. First off, it starts out with the Dolphins having the number 3 pick, originally got it from Houston, and the Laramie Tunsil deal, which in the end is netting them 4 first-round picks, which is crazy. But essentially what happened is this. Their first rounder, they traded up. San Francisco traded up giving them a 2022 first rounder, 2022 third rounder, and a 2023 first rounder, all for this number 3 pick, which essentially ensures that San Francisco is going to get a quarterback, and the Jimmy G era is unfortunately over. He's likely to play out the year, but after that, it's very unlikely that he'll be the quarterback of the 49ers. But it's hard to say even this year what's going to happen. Not even as much for his play as the fact that he can't stay healthy. In the next part of this trade is that now the Dolphins have the 12th pick, and with the 12th pick, they traded up with the Philadelphia Eagles for the 6th pick, which essentially the relevant parts of that trade is that they sent the Eagles a 2022 first rounder along with like a few fourth and fifths being swapped and things like that to move back up to the 6th pick. But what this essentially means for the Dolphins is that they're committing to Tua, is what people have been saying this means. Because this means they're moving out of getting one of the top quarterback prospects and instead are in a perfect position to get a like Jalen Waddle, like Jamar Chase, or like a Kyle Pitts, or even possibly like a Penei Sewell, who's an offensive lineman, but either some skill position or lineman to perfectly kind of complement Tua.
I
But
love this.
just a counter argument. If they really wanted a Jamar Chase, why would they trade down? I don't think he's falling past the Bengals or the 49ers now.
What do you mean? No, they think what they think's happening is that they're going to do 4 quarterbacks in a row, which will give 2 Dolphins the second most talent pick. I think most NFL experts believe that now. They don't. If whether you believe
You
it
think
or not.
4 quarterbacks are going in a row?
That's actually
It
that's
said 49ers
They're-
want Mac Jones. That's what they think.
A lot
Mac
of-
Jones, the 3rd overall.
I'm not.
What
We
world
can
are we living
we
in?
can debate later whether it's
Yeah.
true or not, but
Yeah.
I think that's the
In our
speculation.
draft preview, we'll go through this.
Yeah,
But
I actually agree with you probably.
Dan, I'm not saying it's right, but that is a very serious thought. He did lead the.
Oh no, I'm not saying Ellis is wrong. I'm just saying what a joke that is.
I'm
But,
not saying good pick, but yes, Kyle Shanahan is very much liking Mac Jones. So I think the debate now is Mac Jones or Trey Lance. Right now, it sounds like Mac Jones.
Where's Josh Fields? Justin
Specifically,
Fields, sorry.
one point about Mac Jones that he had a really, really good pro day, which is bringing up his draft stock. The last part of this trade is that the Eagles are going down to the 12th overall pick, which essentially what this means for them is, again, like the Dolphins, at least for this year, they are committing to Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, as they're moving out of any position or any contention to get a better one instead of moving up. Because of this, it is again likely that they're hoping some combination of Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, or Devontae Smith is going to fall to them. At least that would be my theory. That they're hoping one of like the supreme 4 skill position players are going to fall to them, allowing them to build around Jalen Hurts. And with that, I will kick it back to Daniel Fox.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We got everyone in on the tip off, which is always nice. Yeah, so a lot of great sports going on. People always say March, April, that's really one of the best, besides October probably, the best time for sports. We got a lot of great content coming up next week. We'll be talking some March Madness, maybe a little poem from Jeremy, and then we're into the NBA playoffs and NFL draft preview. So stay tuned. But for now, that was the tip off.
All right. With that, let us wrap up this eventful podcast. We went through a lot, honestly. Good pod. Look out for episode 57 coming next Saturday, and look out for our Twitch. Well, we'll promote it more when it comes, but we'll be live streaming the NFL draft on Twitch. So be sure to check that out. Now, follow our Instagram at watt.podcast. That's WOT.PODCAST, all lowercase. Our Twitter at watt.podcast as well. That's WOT.PODCAST, capital W. Dan's on our Twitter and going to be active on Thursday starting. So it's time to get on the Twitter train. And on Instagram, we got Katie and Alice with some pretty good content. Also, you get polls, Hall of Fame. You get a bunch of other cool stuff.
Shout out to the girlfriends.
It's also me. I just want to say. And shout out to me.
No,
Exactly.
Alice and the girl.
Ellis, my girlfriend is Katie. Your girlfriend is Alice. And Daniel's girlfriend is you. It works out perfectly.
That's true. Very true. Good point.
Not that inaccurate.
You know, I like to refer to Daniel more as a son, but that works too. So those are our social medias. Also, Twitch will be coming soon, so that's also another social media platform you want to get on. Also our YouTube at Who's on Top. That's WHO_STOPON_TOP. I forgot the on. And
you can't fucking
subscribe.
spell, bro.
I just forgot the on. Just subscribe, turn the notifications bell, all that good stuff to see our pretty faces.
So you said who's top?
Oh, me, always.
Also, if you want to listen to our podcast just audio form, because of our beautiful, lovely singing voices, you can listen to our podcast in our link on our Instagram bio, Twitter bio, or literally anywhere where you get your podcast other than Amazon Podcast. And that's not because they didn't accept us into our Amazon podcast. That's because we're boycotting Jeff Bezos. So yeah, with that, I think, does anyone else have any messages to add?
Got a
Yes,
shout out
we like
Sergey.
baseball.
Got a shout out Sergey.
Yeah.
All right. So with that,
We're doing really well.
Jeremy, with that, let us conclude officially. Hope you have a great week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. It's April. It's getting warm out. Summer's coming. I can smell it. Oh yeah, baby. Let's
just bring
go.
that-
Hope you enjoy this week's podcast. 56 episodes. We're climbing up those ranks. And as always, goodbye.
Bye.